Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel for the final war of Season 40, a rematch against Pycb, the only alliance that I died to this season, so looking for my revenge today. I am incredibly excited for the team. Some honest-to-goodness Anti-Venom fights today because Red Hulk was banned, Anti-Venom the next best option, and with him we have Carl, of course, and Omega Sentinel. So we're going to be starting out on Path 9 today, and we have this Mephisto up on Node 9. We can pretty much ignore these nodes. So you can play this fight in one of two ways. You can be very aggressive and go for damage and speed by converting Anti-Venom's debuffs into the Fury passives, or you can kind of do what I'm choosing to do here. It's a little bit slower but much safer, and that is that I'm going to utilize the Disorient to stop his aura, and also the Spectres to reverse the willpower healing that he's going to get from so many debuffs being placed on him. So at the start of the fight here, we're going to be blocking as many specials as we can, of course, because that's going to feed Anti-Venom's power gain. And then we're going to switch to Disorient here before combo 10, as soon as he stops tossing specials into me. And then from there, we're going to be able to throw a special 1, which will place our first Disorient. And then after that, we're going to switch over to the Spectre debuffs to reverse willpower. So between Despair and the Spectre, he's not going to be able to heal at all. We're going to just get a little bit of extra damage there. The Disorient, by the way, does bypass Mephisto's immunity to passive ability accuracy reduction. So it doesn't turn off the aura completely. It would if we had all 4 Disorients up. We would probably turn it off completely. But I wanted to find a decent balance between AAR and also the willpower healing. Damage, I think, was much more important in this fight than reducing the chances of the aura here. So yeah, again, a little bit slower. You can definitely go for like the nuke option in this fight. In the next fight and the Dragonman fight, which is third, you really want to play conservatively. You don't really want to take the option for big damage there. It's just much safer to play it this way. But in this fight, you could absolutely play it either way. I tend to favor playing fights safe, even if they take a little bit longer. And this fight ends up being about, I don't know, like a minute and 40 or so. So between the Petrifies and the Spectre, we have also turned off the regen that he gets there, so we don't have to worry about that at all. We've also limited the power gain that he's getting from the aura when it does trigger thanks to the Petrify, and we finish that fight at close to a full yellow bar. Okay, next up we have a rank 5 Absorbing Man on node 18. We can pretty much ignore most of these nodes too. Our heavies are going to apply a stagger, which is going to eat the Indestructible buff, which takes care of Feat of Indestructible, and Power Focus 1 actually helps us out here because we won't have to take a lot of blocked hits or parries, because if he crits through our block, it's going to hurt quite a bit, especially if he's in a refined form, and we won't be able to regen any of that damage either. So the bulk of our damage in this fight is going to be from reversing the regen that Absorbing Man gets when he enters or refines any form. And to that end, we're going to be sticking to our Spectre debuffs here and then spamming special 1s for Petrify, which will also take care of some of that Mystic Dispersion power gain as well. Now, Absorbing Man's regen is based on his missing health, so we do have to do a decent chunk of damage with our basic attacks first before we're going to start seeing significant numbers in the heal reversal department, which is tough to do because in his Uru form he has massive amounts of physical resistance and all of Anti-Venom's hits are physical, so our basic attacks are really going to only do damage when we have disabled his form after a heavy attack. The other thing you want to watch out for here is that Anti-Venom's Stagger does not eat buffs right away, which is very weird. You notice when I gain a bar of power, the Indestructible buff actually gets to sit there for maybe like half a second before the Stagger eats it. Not sure if that's a bug or what, I think it's always been like that, but anyway. You can see the heal reversal numbers really climbing now. 4 Spectres, 2 Petrifies, he's absolutely melting. I really think Anti-Venom is probably the best overall Absorbing Man counter in the game, not only from a heal reversal perspective, but also his ability to disable the unblockable from those special attacks. Okay, next up we have a Dragon Man on node 21. The only thing we need to worry about here is power efficiency. And again, I'm going to be playing this fight pretty conservatively with Anti-Venom, not because I need the debuffs to always be applied, but because I want to be spamming my special 1 in order to keep Petrifies on him and take care of the power gain from his charge and from Mystic Dispersion. You saw me switch to Disorient there. That's the best available debuff here. Spectre is going to do absolutely nothing, and Decelerate is only going to come into play if we happen to tank a special 3. And that's really your biggest concern in this fight, especially with power efficiency in play, is needing to tank multiple special 3s. Now, I do have an invulnerability boost running, so we can safely tank up to 3 of them, but even if we didn't, special 3s can't crit which means as long as we don't die from it outright, Anti-Venom would heal it up anyways. However, I really wanted to avoid any of those brown pants moments, to quote my buddy Vega there, where he's like perilously close to the special 3. You don't really know if he's going to use it or not. And plus, you know, the special 3 also gives him that unblockable buff for a while, and if you don't have a stagger on him, it gets really messy. So I really wanted to avoid all of that. As I said a few minutes ago, Dragon Man being uncharacteristically cooperative with his special attacks, and so much so that around this point in the fight, I really started to consider switching strategies and kind of going to a more aggressive playstyle. We had 4 Disorients up on him for a while now. I figured maybe I could convert them with the special 2 and then build back up to a special 1 before, you know, the power gain really became a problem. And the more I thought about it as the seconds wore on, I realized, you know, we're making steady progress here. We are keeping his power gain in check. He has never been even close to a special 3. And as long as I kind of stuck with what I was doing, there was a high likelihood that I was going to get out of this fight, not only with a solo, but without, you know, taking any damage at all, really. And so that's kind of what I ended up deciding. Again, you know, I preach this a lot. Safe for me is always better than short. So I probably could have, you know, gotten a good amount of uptime on my Fury passives and still gotten back up to my special 1 to manage the power gain. But, you know, it's only maybe a 30-second difference in a safe fight here, so I decided against it. One more special 2 and the fight is about over. I am very, very happy that I finally got to use Anti-Venom in a war for something other than, like, simple heal reversal like I did early on in the season. And one more hit should do it there. So shout out to my BG planners for finally giving me some cool Anti-Venom fights to do this season. But for now, we are done with Anti-Venom. We have this absolute nothing kitty fight on 24. Omega Sentinel counters Buffet. Therefore, we don't have to worry at all about Vigorous Assault. She's being very cooperative, so we managed to get our 3 Cowardice debuffs up very quickly, which counters her Prowess. And pretty much Kitty has nothing going on for her anymore. Keeping those debuffs paused with the 4th Light attack, all the while building up to our special 2. I think we get 1 Plasma off with a double medium before launching our special 2 there. So we have 5, we're about to have 5 Plasmas ticking, and the damage numbers are kind of hard to see. It's about 5,000 damage per second, so it's ticking for a total of around 2,500 or so. And you can see her health pool just disintegrating. And down she goes, only 30 hits. Really, really easy fight. Alright, up in Section 2, we're on Path 3. We've got a Colossus here on Node 32. Going to speed this fight up a little bit. We're going in with Absorbing Man in Black Uru form so that we get the bleed immunity. And the bleeds from Chitinous Thorns are going to keep our form paused for pretty much the entire fight. So I knew kind of going in here that we were going to be glancing on pretty much every hit because of Colossus's permanent armor buffs. And you can see that the glancing is actually preventing our vulnerability passes from applying when we light intercept as well. So having said all that, the bulk of our damage in this fight is from the secondary damage on our hits while we're in refined form. So once we get into that refined Uru form, you can see there are red numbers popping up there, and that's really where our damage is coming from. I try and heavy counter a heavy there into a special 1, and I instead get punched in the face. So I don't try that a second time. Instead, I'm kind of looking for a good opportunity to instead heavy counter his special 1 with a heavy and then a heavy cancel into my special 1. And other than that, I'm just like trying to hope and pray that any of these hits can sneak through the glancing and we can get a nice big crit in. I think with 3 armor ups, it's like a 90% chance to glance, so it's not completely impossible. Right there, we get a couple of really good crits on that special 1, and that does a nice chunk of damage here. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if my thumb slipped or what, but took a combo. No worries, though. Right there, I finally get a nice special 1 counter, get the vulnerability passes applied through the glancing, and that ends the fight shortly thereafter. So, last fight of the war and of Season 40 for me is a Silver Surfer here on Node 42 with static defense. So similar to the previous fight, we want to use Uru form to get the shock immunity. And then when he does have an armor up, that'll keep our form paused. Otherwise, we're going to get form pauses from the armor breaks on his special 1 as well here. So throws that special 2 right away. We're getting the vulnerability passes up on him, trying to nail some additional light intercepts, but it's not really a problem. And then I nail him with a special 1 there. and then one more special one, and I think this combo ends up finishing him off. Look at that sweet, sweet 20k secondary damage. You love to see it. You also love to see this. We did come away with the win, avenging our defeat from earlier this season against PYCB. 6 kills, 0 deaths, and our record for Season 40 finishes at a respectable 7-5. So we had already clinched Masters after War 11, and we kind of knew coming into this war that we had a decent chance of clinching top 10 with a win. We got that win, and we did end up clinching top 10, so very, very happy with everybody's performance this season. More to come on that in the season rewards and review video that you should expect to have from me in the next couple days. So folks, if you enjoyed this, please let me know by hitting that like button, and be sure to subscribe to get access to all future videos and get notified when I go live. As always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.